So we're hit with a scenario. You've got unstable work or constant change. And it might be that you finish school and now you're trying to, you're doing a bit of work and you're trying to get enough hours and you're just not getting the hours. It might be that you've done a trade or you finished university and you're just struggling to get into, from second to third gear. You're just struggling to land that full-time job, or you're just bouncing between contracts. I know when I graduated, 2 people in my year group got teaching permanent contracts, and the rest of us were all on temp contracts. Now, it's a very different employment picture.
That could be driven by casualisation of the workforce.
Yep.
It might be something beyond our control, or it might be something that we're pushing for. We want the better hours, we want the better pay, we want more stability. It might be us chasing after the next good thing. It might be a combination of the two.
And so, what's our default response?
Maybe the default then is my work should provide me with satisfaction, or my work should provide me with stability.
Stability, yeah. So I'm not getting what I want from my work. My work isn't doing what I want it to do. So I deserve more from my work. I deserve more hours. I'm not being recognised. I deserve more, and my work isn't satisfying. So there's a dual problem with work, problem with us. I deserve more. How then am I going to respond?
It could lead to discontentment.
Discontent.
Discontent.
What's it called when I had this word. Self-entitlement. Yeah, you guys are like, yeah, you know that word really well. Self-entitlement. Okay, so if I'm coming into the workforce thinking I'm really like, I deserve more, then I'm going to be self-entitled. Then I'm going to I'm going to put that expectations on everyone. I'm going to demand everything from everyone else without necessarily giving more myself. I'm going to be self-entitled. I'm going to be discontent. So I'm going to grow in bitterness.
And I think we're looking for work to fulfill something in us that it was never meant to fulfill.
So we're chasing after the wind, and we're putting ourselves in a pit that and then we're trying to climb out of this pit in a way that we can't get out, because you can't dig your way out. Work won't meet that for us.
And I think, sadly, if you kind of take these things to their logical conclusion, you might end up with despair.
Yeah. And there's something, right, like it is good to work. So you want to recognize that actually it's a good longing to have more hours. It's a good longing to be productive. It's a good longing. If we've got this picture of work in heaven, it's good to want that, but then that good desire can quickly warp into despair and turning in on ourselves and making it all about us and forgetting quickly about God's truths. Let's look at the Bible truths. So we've just done Isaiah 65. What are the truths?
I think probably the biggest truth is that we have already got in Jesus what we don't deserve.
So already this picture of heaven in Isaiah 65, Jesus has rent the heavens and come down to win us salvation. So we've already got more than we deserve. And if we live life thinking we don't have what we deserve, then we're going to be bitter and lead to despair. But if we actually realign ourselves and we go, I'm saved by Jesus, I'm living my whole life undeserved, then that's going to change our relationships, it's going to change our work. We're going to be able to then, maybe it would be good to have more hours, but that's not going to be my defining characteristic in this season of life. I'm a Christian, I'm saved. That's going to impact everything. That's going to change how I approach getting overlooked in other parts.
And so our hope then is grounded in the past, in what Jesus has already done, and it's grounded in certain hope for the future.
So we're looking back to Jesus, he's rent the heavens, and we're looking forward with one day work will fulfill. One day I will have stability beyond anything I can imagine. And so then how do we respond? I've already kind of creeped into this a bit. That's going to change if we're looking at what Jesus has done and what Jesus will do, has promised, which is just as sure as what he had done, and we're not, dwelling on this as much, having it defined, we're seeing it through the Jesus lens. That's going to change things. Do you want to add anything here?
And I think you drew it out early on in your talk tonight. There is a place for lament. And we take that cry and direct it to God. We don't turn that sadness, maybe that injustice we feel, maybe those good desires for supporting a family. We can mourn those things, but we direct them to God in lament, not internally.
And that comes back to the talk 2 weeks ago. Remember that God's discomfort leads to true comfort. When we face this discomfort, is it going to lead us, are we going to remember God's truths and lead to acknowledging the discomfort, grieving the discomfort, but having it point us to heaven, and then living as a result in hope as we seek to show glimpses of heaven now? You know, my work, even though it's not ideal, I'm still able to love others through it. I'm still able to provide for others through it. I'm still able to have it build and shape communities. There's still parts of that are going to come through, even if it's not in the way we want.
So the best of work, the best glimpses, tiny glimpses we get of work, the good things that come out of work, point us to heaven. And the drudgery, the weariness, the injustice in the workplace, that also points us to heaven. Good summary?
Yeah.